638.
With the power of Tandem HR, you are in the fast lane on Main Street with Get Down to Business with Shalom Klein, the show for business and jobs. Now, the champion of networking, the advocate of jobs, the guru of business, your host, Shalom Klein.
Dwight Eisenhower once said that leadership is the art of getting someone else to do something you want done because he wants to do it. We are all about small business, jobs, and entrepreneurship. And business, we talk a lot about business here. You are on with Get Down to Business. I'm your host, Shalom Klein. Remember, you can always download podcasts from Get Down to Business on my website at shalomklein.com. And while you are there, don't forget to follow my updates on Twitter at Shalom Klein. Remember, it's going to be a jam-packed week, as always, of content and information that you won't want to miss. It's a live show. You can call us with your questions at 312-642-5600. This week, we're talking a lot about sales, and you won't want to miss a minute of it because, once again, we've got a great lineup of guests, which include Julia Klein, Tom Fiegel, Linda Foreman, and Miriam Ament. You won't want to miss a minute of it. And, again, we're taking your calls, 312-642-5600. 5600. And finally, at the end of the show, I'm going to be sharing some critical tips on some very fantastic and productive apps that will help your business. So don't miss a minute. Tune in every Sunday, 6 p.m. to the show. Get Down to Business. We're powered by Tandem HR, your solution center. You can find them at tandemhr.com or call 630-928-0510. Once again, Tandem HR is your solution center. You can find them at tandemhr.com or call 630-928-0510. You can also email them, simplify@tandemhr.com. And now we're thrilled to be joined on the phone with the woman who literally wrote the book on sleaze-free sales. That's Julia Klein. Julia, welcome to Get Down to Business.
Hi, Shalom. Nice to meet you today.
Thanks for joining us on the show. So, Julia, I'm curious, sleaze-free sales, is that really possible? Sales just seems to be the something that everybody dreads, certainly doing the sales process, making those cold calls. Can it possibly be sleaze-free?
Yeah, absolutely. The secret of making your sales process to be sleaze-free is that my definition of sleazy selling is when you are selling something and you're thinking about yourself. And so you are trying to make the sale, get your commissions, pay your bills, and that's what's on your mind when you are making the sale and are talking to a customer. Because when you're thinking about yourself, you are naturally going to be doing things that will tend to get them to say yes, whether or not it serves them.
Julia, it sounds like if people follow that process, not only will they feel better about themselves, but they'll probably also be a lot more productive in their business, sales, and marketing efforts.
Yeah, for sure. And it's hard. You know, it's in our nature to think about ourselves and not think about the other person. So this is, it's easy. It's like so many things in life and in business. It's easy to say, so simple, but man, oh man, is it hard to do. So practice and dedication.
Again, we're talking with Julia Klein, who's written the book on sleaze-free sales. And of course, before our break, we're going to make sure that you share your contact information. You've spoken to dozens, perhaps even hundreds of groups around the country, business owners, many like our listeners, that are trying to take their business to the next level. Is there anybody that says, gosh, it just can't be done? My sales process just seems like that it can't be improved any more than it's already been improved.
Oh, sure. Yeah, that's one of the things. Being a sales coach and a sales trainer, I sometimes find myself, a company will hire me, they'll bring me in, and they'll have all their top guns in the room. And, these are a bunch of men and women. They're sitting there leaning back with their arms folded across their chest saying, I am a salesperson. I bring in X number of dollars to this company. I am the guru. I'm the money maker. I'm the rainmaker. You can't teach me anything. A lot of people have that feeling. And I'll tell you, over and over and over again, groups that I speak to, just the speaking that I do and also the training for corporations that bring me in, over and over again, people come up to me afterwards and they say, I wouldn't have thought it was possible. I have been in sales for 15 years. And you just shared with me things that I have never thought of before.
Julia, do you think that there's a profile that makes up the perfect salesperson? What is the recipe for success in sales?
Yeah, it's an interesting question. Nobody has ever asked me that before. And I would say that that being a successful, it depends on what your definition of a successful salesperson is, right? If what you want is to maximize your front-end sales, then there are, if you're being given leads, if your company is paying for leads, then you need to be somebody who is highly consultative, asks great questions, gets to know the person. If, on the other hand, you're in a small business and you're doing sales for yourself, well, then maybe one of your best qualities needs to be that you've got to have a real belief in what it is that you're selling so that you can keep going after it day after day after day and doing all the things that you've got to do to make things happen in your small business.
Julia, I believe that everybody out there is in sales. Whether you're selling a product or a service, or you're in business or you work in a business, I believe you have to constantly sell every single day. We're all meeting with people so many times a day. We're sitting down in conversations. We're constantly doing things that we need to prove ourselves all the time. Julia, do you think that the advice written in your book about sleaze-free sales holds true to professionals in all industries?
Yes, absolutely, for sure. And beyond what's in my book, I have a technique that's called the 7-minute sales secret. And I don't know if we've got time to go into it at all here tonight, but people can also get it on my website, the 7-minute sales secret that changes everything. And that is applicable to every single person that is selling, no matter what industry, no matter what product, whoever your customer is. The 7-minute sales secret that changes everything will, in fact, revolutionize how your business makes its money and how it makes sales.
Do you have a favorite story of a company or individual that you've worked with, a really small company or a really large company that you've managed to sort of transform their sales efforts or sales department?
Yeah, it was one of my favorite stories, one of the older ones. Years and years ago, I was the national sales manager for a real estate company. And they took me all around the country training their different sales departments because I had developed a particular tool that was specific for them and for their industry because they were dealing with a lot of real estate investors. And so being a real estate investor myself, and it's one of my areas, my industries I specialize in, I developed a special tool for them that their salespeople that was sophisticated investor knowledge but was simple enough that the salespeople could understand it. And when they started implementing that tool in all of their sales conversations, their numbers went through the roof. It was really wonderful to watch.
Absolutely fascinating. Once again, we're talking with Julia Kline, a speaker, small business coach, and the woman who wrote the book on sleaze-free sales. We're going to make sure that people can find those 7 tips that you mentioned through your website. But Julia, we're slowly running out of time. What is the one bit of information that you want our listeners to know as they step into a new year, 2015? Everybody has their New Year's resolutions, their personal resolutions, but everybody should also have their business resolutions. What's the bit of advice that you think people should take to heart and sort of implement as they go into January?
To notice the nuance and to look for subtlety. And particularly with the 7-minute sales secret that we reference that they're going to find on my website, it's similar to what they've seen before. And so if they look at, and just like then with this and with anything, when you look at it, it's like, oh, yeah, I know that. I've done that. There's nothing new for me there. Okay, great. There's nothing new for you there. If you want to change your business, you want to change your life, you want to change your financial story for 2015, you have to be willing to look at the nuance and the subtlety and do things a little bit differently with the 7-minute sales secret.
Great advice. Once again, Julia Kline, thanks for joining us on Get Down to Business. I know we'll be talking to you again and again, listening to your advice about sales and how to do it more effectively as our small business listeners go into 2015. So looking forward to having you back on the show. How can our listeners reach out to you and find your book and, more importantly, find out and ask you some more questions on the subject of sales?
Yeah, for sure. Come to my website, which is intuitivebusinesswoman.com. And the 7-minute sales secret is at intuitivebusinesswoman.com/7 minutes, the numeral 7 minutes. you'll find that information there.
Easy enough, and that website sort of summarizes who you are. Once again, Julia Klein, you could contact her at intuitivebusinesswoman.com. You could get those 7-minute secrets in sales, and secrets not any longer, because we're going to be having you back on the show to talk a little bit more about that. Julia, thanks for joining us on the show. Looking forward to continuing our discussion in 2015 about growing our listeners' businesses and sales efforts.
Thank you very much, Shalom. Appreciate it.
Of course. Get Down to Business is brought to you in part by Everett Wealth Solutions, a registered investment advisor and financial planning firm, a fiduciary advisor that helps you create your personal wealth. You can find them at everettwealthsolutions.com or call 708-771-7777. And as we go into 2015, I've got a great event that I want to share with you. On January 20th, we're having a great LinkedIn workshop. LinkedIn is something we talk about a lot on this show, and you could learn from a professional how to improve your profile. Check that out on my website, shalomkline.com. On that site, you can also download podcasts from Get Down to Business. After the break, we're talking with Tom Fiegel from Tandem HR.